Hello and welcome to The Culture Show. After decades of graffiti artists being represented as scummy youth defacing our cities, finally the public's view of street art is changing. Artists like JR and Banksy have global recognition and collectors are pouring in money. For today's guests, it's about time. Indie 184 and Cope2, as they're known, are two of the leading graffiti artists in the world. They're a couple based in New York. They're here in Paris for an exhibition of their work. Here's a taster of it. I'm delighted to say that they join us now, the artists you saw there. Welcome to France 24.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, I just wanted to start by asking you, you obviously started on the street. Now most of your work is in the gallery. What do you think of that transition of graffiti artists showing their work in galleries when it really started off as an urban street movement, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's an amazing transition from subway cars in the early 80s, you know, to bombing and writing graffiti in the streets in the South Bronx, all over the boroughs in New York. I mean, to me, at my age now, you know, I can't do that anymore. You know, you can't paint subway cars anymore. You can't do nothing really illegal. I mean, kids could do it, but not me. You know, to try to be a professional artist now, it makes more sense to make a living off of what I do. So that's why I changed from doing illegal graffiti and try to take my artwork and put it into the galleries and make it more official.
Well, you have been doing this for like 30 years. You started when you were 12.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, you fought against this sort of attempt to wipe graffiti off the streets of New York, to kind of clear it up. And many people say that if it wasn't for you, there would be no graffiti in New York. Tell us about that.
I don't know. That's just, I guess, how people look at it. And because a lot of like graffiti artists from the subways, when the subways died, they stopped and they quit. So there was not too many graffiti artists still painting, you know. So me coming from the subways, when it died, I kept on going and I kept on doing walls. I just took it as a thing that I love to do. I didn't really look at it as trying to save graffiti in New York. I just was loving to get all the artists together, even graffiti artists from Europe, putting just nice walls together. I guess just keep going and kept it going. I kept it going was what I, love to do. And eventually people looked at it like I saved graffiti in New York. I mean, maybe it's cool to look at it that way, but I just looked at it as something, for me, it was normal because it's what I love to do.
Okay, and Indy, you've been doing it since the early sort of 2000, you started in 2000.
Yes.
And it is a very male-dominated sort of world, the graffiti art, street art world. What's that like for you? How did you break into it?
I started by it was really my background, my environment, growing up in New York City, it's just everywhere. And I started meeting writers finally when I was like 20 years old. And then I met Cope, and he's been like a mentor ever since. So it's been a bit a challenge, but it's all how much work you put in, that's all, like, you have to earn your respect at the same time, not just, paint because you're a girl and you'll be famous. You have to put in work and work twice as hard sometimes because you're a girl.
Well, it is beginning to get recognition, street art and graffiti, but only yesterday 20 people were arrested in New York. That's all part of this sort of the hottest, most talked about art show in New York at the moment. It's an illegal street exhibition that's taking place in a disused subway. And I know that you've been arrested. You've even spent some time in jail for your art. Tell us.
Yeah, well, not really. I never did no time. I always just went through the system, got a good lawyer, got out on bail or, ROR. But, it's like if you're doing something illegal, whether graffiti, whatever it is, you're going to get arrested for it. So at my age, I can't really do nothing, illegal anymore. It just doesn't make sense.
But is the adventure really for graffiti artists almost as important as the art, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, for the younger, graffiti writers, they want to keep it illegal. I've done illegal graffiti for many years. It doesn't make sense for me to do that now,
But has the adventure faded a bit for you then, do you feel?
Not really, because I've had my share, more than in adventure. I mean, I can go out and paint a subway car anytime I want, but it just, to me now at my age, it just doesn't make sense. So I've been done it all, I've had my taste and I've had fun with it.
But do you look back as those years, the subway drawing years, as the glory years for you?
Oh, I miss it. Yeah, of course, it's the glory. It's what made me who I am today. The early subway cars, that's what inspired the whole world, was the subway cars in New York. From once it died out and subway art came out and Style Wars came out and it went global, the whole world started doing graffiti. So I'm blessed to be one of the, like Is the Wiz told me, I'm really the last legend from the subway. After me, there's no more, Well,
let's talk a bit about what you're doing now. You do designing for lots of more corporate bodies like Adidas, Time Magazine, Foot Locker. Tell us a little bit more about that. I mean, does that not contradict how it all started out, the whole graffiti thing for you?
No, not really, because when you're painting subway cars or you're bombing the street, you're not thinking about doing a big project with Adidas or Time, because you're young, you want to just get your name famous, you want to become a king. But that's when you're young. As you get older, and in the end of the day, you have a family, and that's what it boils down to. And you have a family, and you have children to feed and raise, and you have to take care of bills, and priorities change. The whole life change, everything changes, and that's what's part of life. You have to change. And at the end of the day, painting a subway car is not going to take care of the family, especially if I'm arrested and I'm locked up in prison for graffiti. Who's going to look after my family? I'm the breadwinner. I bring home the bacon in the end of the day, and I have to make sure, the family is taken care of, even though my partner also does it. But, that's just how I was brought up, watching my grandfathers and my father do it. They always took care of the family. So if I can do that with my artwork, that's amazing, because I've worked in every job you can think of in New York, from security to construction to everything, mail rooms, and it just never fitted me. And people always like, you need to take your artwork to the next level. You've paid your dues, you've done it all. You need to take it now to the galleries and make a big name for yourself and live off your artwork. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
We're not trying to keep it alive like how it was back then. We're trying to move forward and evolve out of what came from back in the days, because we will never relive that. I will never be part of that era. So why try to be something that you're not? Like taking care of my family, doing that job, that being part of the art show, taking our art to the next level. So it's what's best for us.
Well, good luck with everything, and thank you so much for coming in and seeing us here on France Market. I'm afraid we're out of time. And just a reminder for you guys at home, the exhibition Burning Hearts is taking place at the Espace in My Room. It's organised by the Mat Gott Gallery here in Paris, and it's on until the 28th of November. That's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you tomorrow.